Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated. And today is the first book haul of 2026. And it wasn't super intentional because I am trying to be intentional about the books that I buy. Because I didn't want to start buying books right away. I kind of want to read off on my shelf. But these books came about in a particular way. When I get to each book, I will tell you the story about it. But I'm having my coffee this morning. It says I'm booked. My weekend is booked. It's really not, but it is kind of, sort of. And I'll let you know that in a minute. So right now I'm preparing to go to Brooklyn and see my mom. But in the middle of, before I get there, I'm going to Abyssinian Baptist Church here in New York to Rashonda Tate's book event for with love from Harlem. And so I'm going to pick that up today and see her book talk. So I'm super excited about that. That's my first book event of the year. But that's not what you're here for. And I'm going to try to vlog it or at least film some clips of it and put some things in my story later on this week. But let's talk about the books that I was able to pick up in my first book haul. So the book haul really started with Barnes & Noble's 50% off book sale. And I just went to look. I wasn't looking for anything in particular. And I found a couple of books that I really wanted to read, in addition to a new book, new author to me. So let's start with that one. This book is titled This Here Is Love by Princess Joy L. Perry. And Black author, and it says Princess Joy L. Perry brings to light the profound moral and emotional dilemmas her characters face, making the reader feel the weight of their impossible choices and everyday courage. A fierce and luminous debut. So this is a debut author, her debut book. And it says, as the 17th century burns to close in Tidewater, Virginia, America's character is wrought in the fires of wealth, race, and freedom. So I think this may be a historical fiction. Anyway, it sounds awesome. And so I picked that up, and also it's a Black author and new to me. The next book that I picked up during this sale was Cursed Daughters. I do not want to butcher her name, but Miss Braithwaite, the author of My Sister the Serial Killer. This has been on and popping on the internet for the entire latter part of the year, and so I wanted to pick this up. And I did not expect this to be 50% off. So when I saw it, it was like one copy left, and I was like, absolutely yes to this. So I picked this one up as well. And the last thing that I picked up, last book that I picked up at that sale was R.F. Kuang's Calabasas. And I was looking up this book for a very long time. It's $32, and I was like, I don't know if I want to pay that much for a book, even though it's hard copy. And this sale was 50% off of hard copy books. And then when I was in Italy during the Christmas holiday, I saw it, and even though it was in euros, it was cheaper. And then I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, my bag, and it's heavy, so let me see. But I have it now, and it was 50% off. So I'm super happy about that. I first read Yellow, what was that? Yellow Face? I'll have it up. I forgot what it was. But I read that first, not knowing who the author was. And then I read Babel, and that started my journey with R.F. Kuang. And so I definitely wanted to read this. This came out, I believe, the latter part of last year, like midsummer range. And then also during that trip, I got my calendar. I usually try to get a calendar, a real like paper calendar. But I've been doing this for the last couple of years. I didn't get it last year, but You Are a Badass. This author, the creator of this also is the author of the book. I have a few of the books here. I actually have You Are a Badass, The Journal, and Badass Habits. So I never read Badass Habits. And I have so many things about, self-discovery and self-help and stuff like that. So I try to put them in order. So realistically, I probably won't get to that to next year to really like complete the series. And so I have my calendar though. And then when I was on the line, this is how they get you putting things on the shelves on the line, in between the line. It says my wine club has a book problem. And I thought that was so cool to go with my channel. when we talk about wine and books and all the things. So that's my new bookmark. So that was my Barnes & Noble haul. You know I had to go to Dollar Tree. Danny Reed's always have me stepping in Dollar Tree. And it wasn't much this time. And if I can, I will put a clip in the video. But it wasn't much that I wanted to read. Let me say that. They had a few books, but it wasn't much that I wanted to read. But this one caught my eye. It's The Things Went Dark by B. Fitzgerald. I don't know who this author is. But it says 6 people land on a desert island ready to make their reality show debut. The contestants are suitably glamorous and dramatic, and they're also hungry to prove themselves. The stakes are high, and with millions of viewers watching, losing is not an option. But 3 weeks and 18 episodes later, 5 of the 6 contestants sit in a Portuguese police station, and none of them are winners. So I thought that sounds super good, and it was from the Dollar Tree. So there we go. And then, yes, I have some book stash on a book list on Amazon. However you feel about Amazon, all of those things, I still buy some books from Amazon, I'm not gonna lie. And so my boss gave me a gift certificate, an Amazon gift certificate, which I thought was super cool. And so I was like, let me buy some professional books, because I was like, will I spend my money on professional books? Absolutely. Did I want to spend my gift certificate on professional books? Not so much. But I wound up spending the same amount of money. So I had doubled it. So it didn't really matter. I was going to buy the books anyway. But that was the inspiration for buying the book. So I have one book that's coming, but one of the books that I bought was a mindfulness-based stress reduction workbook. And not just about the work itself, but like actually things that my clients could do to relieve their stress using mindfulness and things I can practice every day. And I think this was one of the books that my boss also suggested. So I was like, oh, I'll get that. I did not buy this with the gift certificate, but it came because I actually ordered this maybe the day before. I was at a PD, professional development, for my job, and this book was not only suggested, but we're going to be using it later. And most people who are clinicians know Brene Brown, Dare to Lead. So I had to pick that one up as well. And I hear that this also has a workbook now. So I'm going to get the workbook as well. But I'll be reading this for work. And I think what I'm going to do is do a professional book haul as well, because I have some books that's coming, and I do have a professional TBR that I don't always share on this channel, but I'm probably going to share it now because I want to get more into my professional reads, which is also a part of my TBR, no TBR, by reading off of my bookshelves. And then the other books that I got was The Full Picture by Jessica Carmichael. This came out in December, and I never picked it up. It was always in my cart, and so I really wanted to get into this book. It says reuniting with her family and partying in Accra until sunrise. Part of the plan, catching feelings for 2 very different boys. Definitely not. So I always wanted to read this. I wanted to get it when it came out. So now I have it. About a month later. It came out in December. So now I have that to my bookshelves. And I'm going to talk about this bookstore that sparked these next books that I bought. So this bookstore is called Kindred Bookstore, is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So part of what I want to do this year, and it's going to be a series, is talking about the books. I want to visit each state and go to their independent BIPOC bookstores. And so Connecticut is the place that I can get to in my car quickly. This might be an hour 20 minutes away from me, and so I was going to start there. But the last 2 weekends in New York, it has snowed, and I was supposed to go Martin Luther King weekend because I had the day off, and I was like, I can go Saturday and still kind of have 2 days off. That didn't work, and it's supposed to snow this weekend, so I'm going to my mom's house to see how she's doing. So that dampened it a little bit. So I'm trying to really still squeeze in this bookstore, but if not, in order to complete what I want to do, because I want to do one for each month, I might just go to a bookstore here in New York, and that would be my completion for visiting bookstores around the United States. But this bookstore is also doing a what you call it? Why am I losing it? Oh my Lord, I'm gonna have it on the screen. But that is what they're doing. And so it's called A Year of Toni Morrison Book Club. Why couldn't I have not said that before? Book club. So they're having a year of Toni Morrison. So each month they're going to be reading Toni Morrison books. So for January it's The Bluest Eye. For February it's Sula. March, Song of Solomon. April, Tar Baby. May, Beloved. June, Jazz. July, Paradise. There's no meeting in August. September they're going to be doing Love, which I have on my shelf already. And October, A Mercy, I have that as well. November, Home, which I think is the newest one, and then December, God Help the Child. So in the efforts to prepare for this, and I know I'm probably going to be a little late with completing The Bluest Eye for January, because it is currently January 23rd, and I'm in the middle of reading things. So 24th, and so I picked up also during this haul Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye, Toni Morrison, Beloved, and Toni Morrison, Song of Solomon. These books were distributed, but this is the international version of the book. So I'm going to try to get them all in this particular frame, book frame. But if I'm not, it's fine. I have Love, I have A Mercy, and Sula, Paradise, and another book is in another kind of distribution. So it doesn't matter with me that much about those things as long as I have the book. And so yeah, these were the books that I picked up during the month of January, or the first book haul, because January is not over. I know there are some books coming out on the 27th, and I will be getting those books. So we're probably going to have a second follow-up January book haul. Also in the Dollar Tree, I picked up a couple of things. I always do stuff like this because I also want to support things that support Blackness. And it may not be something that I read, but I'm in contact with a lot of young people, and sometimes they are children as well. So they had Princess Diaries. I know, you know, this is a mass marketed book, but it is Black people on pages. And so Tiana's Big City Sounds, I picked this up. I'm probably just going to have it in my office now. I work with high school kids, but they're the biggest babies if you ever work with high school kids. So I just wanted to have something that represents my babies on the cover that they can see themselves. And then this book was for me, nostalgia's sake. And it's probably going to be something I do when I'm stressed, or not even stressed. It's something I want to do just to decompress and things of that nature. It was the Smurfs Jumbo Coloring and Activity book. I almost didn't pick this up because I was like, that's so juvenile. But I went back to it. I was like, I gotta get this. This was a part of my childhood. It's something that I like to do. I like to color. And I'm probably going to bring it to school and make some copies, because as much as the kids act like they're grown at 16, they are really big babies. And my kids color all the time in my office. I have certain things that's more age appropriate, but my babies like stuff like this, so we can share this experience together. So yes, that is the book haul, the first book haul of the year. I have some things to get done, and I need to start getting them done. So I've already taken my shower. That was purposefully done so I can do the video. I'm having my coffee now, so as soon as I finish this and put up everything with my camera, then I'm gonna get out the house to go to the book tour for with Love from Harlem, with Shonda Tate. I think she has two last names. I put it on the screen. I don't want to name her. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm gonna see my mom. I'm gonna bring Boo Boo back with me, her cats. Babysitting Boo Boo this week. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this time. I low-key really don't want it to snow. So I want it to snow because I don't want to have to go to work. But I don't want it to snow because I don't want to have to shovel it and clean my car. So I'm in a quandary. So if it snows a little bit, that's fine. If it snows a lot of bit, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not a precipitation girl. And it's not because I don't like the precipitation, because being a New York City girl, I've grown up with it and I've traveled in it and I've taken the train and all of that. But when you have a car, it's different. It is super different. And I live in an area now that I must drive. It's not an option. It is. I have an option to take the train It's just a little bit more interactive than it was in my last place. And so I would prefer to drive 90% of the time. And so when it snows, it kind of puts a damper of just traveling and cleaning my car and things like that. But as always, do all of the things: like, comment, subscribe, and share a book that you recently bought, or share what you want to see me read out of this collection of my first book haul. But if you bought books, let me know what you're reading. I keep saying, hey, let's do a buddy read together. So if you see this and you have any of these books and you want to do a buddy read, or you want to suggest doing a buddy read and another book, I don't mind buying it. Just let me know. But in the comments, just let me know what's going on with your reading life, with your coffee life, with your wine life, all of the things. Hope life is doing well for you in the beginning of 2026, because 2025 last year started on fire. So hopefully we'll get through this year much better than we did last. And like I said, do all of the things: like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces, bye.